Hi everyone, thank you for coming out today. Today is the Town Hall question and answer session for our candidates running for Associated Student Body President. And so we're going to start off with a 2-minute statement from each candidate, and then we're going to dive into the questions you guys asked on the Google Doc. And then there'll be a closing statement. So.
To those of you who don't know me, I'm Reid Walters. I have been in ASB the past 2 years and have loved every minute of it. I hope to continue my time in ASB as student body president next year. The reason I love coming to school every day is because I love the people. The students, the staff, and the administration on campus are truly what make Paly so special. This year, ASB has done a lot to improve our school, and all of those changes require the ability to work together. The ASB president's role is to work with the many amazing people that we have on campus to make Paly even better than it already is. The past 2 years, I have improved my skills as a leader and made connections with administrators and staff members that are vital to being an effective ASB president. I have been both a class officer and an executive officer, so I have led this school in a variety of different ways. As sophomore class president, I got the opportunity to be the connection between my grade and ASB. As class president, I really enjoyed leading my class during Spirit Week. Spirit Week is something so special to Paly that exemplifies how many creative and spirited individuals that we have on campus. Expanding the Spirit Dance is one of the accomplishments that I am most proud of our ASB class for making. Spirit Week is all about increasing school spirit, and the best way to do that is to make sure that we have something for everyone. I'll be the first to admit that my dance moves aren't impeccable, but I had a blast being able to dance with my class, and I want everyone to have the ability to do that before they graduate senior year. As ASB president, I would build upon this success and focus on increasing the number of participants in every ASB event. This year, I was student body vice president, and I had the chance to work with all of the awesome clubs that we have on campus. Part of what makes Paly such an amazing school is the number of opportunities that we have here. For those of you who don't know, we have over 100 clubs. Through working with clubs, I realized the importance of having something for everyone. I implemented a club check-in system so that we made sure the clubs in ASB had good communication. As ASB president, I would continue to foster strong communication with clubs and provide them with more opportunities to be involved on campus. I love Paly and will do anything to make it a better place for each and every student. We are only in high school once, and I truly believe that we go to one of the greatest high schools in the nation. Vote Reid Walters for student body president.
Hi, my name is Zhou, and I'm running to be your student body president. So, instead of talking about myself, I'm going to be talking about you and what I will do to make your experience at Paly better. A student body president is supposed to represent the student body, yet no one person is representative of the entire school. That's why, this year, in addition to working on ASB to increase diversity with events like the Open Spirit Dance and International Lunch, this year, as junior class president, I've gone on a club tour. From battling at Pokemon Club to doing community service at YCS, this experience has really broadened my view, which I will use to best represent the student body. Adding on to the notion of representation, this year I've been actively utilizing surveys and making changes based on the results. I started and led Advice for ASB, the campaign to increase communication between the student body and ASB. Know that as student body president, I won't be afraid of trying new ideas and putting myself out there, and will increase communication with more surveys and things like a monthly lunch for ASB members and the student body. Furthermore, I've been making eye-catching graphics, the Prom and Spirit Dance video, walking around to remind people of events individually, and I even made these yellow dancing people posters that I updated daily with the schedule during Spirit Week. As student body president, I will put more effort into publicity so that we get more people at our events, increasing unity, and making sure that no one is left out. You're not going to find another candidate who's as passionate, who goes on these club tours, who makes graphics and videos, and is so willing and eager to make change. Representation, communication, unity. Where there's a will, there's a way. Vote Williams out for student body president. Thank you.
Awesome. So now we're going to go ahead and get to our questions. Okay. So we're going to read the question out loud, and then each candidate is going to get a minute to respond, and then we'll switch off. So Reid is going to answer the first question first, then Will is going to answer the second question first. So this is the first question, and it's going to go to Will first. And it says, how will you make sure that all student voices and groups are heard and represented on ASB?
Starting off with the notion of representation, I sort of touched on this on my speech. So one thing I'd like to do to make sure that people are heard is to really push advice for ASB and use it more often. So for example, after every event that ASB does, launch a survey that is part of advice for ASB and really get this, I think, a habit of just having people respond and then us looking at those responses and making changes based on those responses. And then I think I'm also pretty approachable and I'm always ready to listen. I'm ready to try new things. This year I was part of the spirit dance, something I've never done before, but I've really enjoyed it. And I always look forward to doing new things, even if I fail. So yeah, definitely just doing whatever it takes to make sure that people are heard.
Okay, going off of what Will said, yeah, I think that utilizing the surveys that we have is a really good tool. But I also think that I would try and get a variety of different people to be in our ASB class. If I get elected, then the ASB president is part of the interview process for appointed positions. And I think that making sure that we have a variety of different people in the classroom and voting on things is really important. So I would try and make sure that we have a variety of different people.
Okay, so the next question, which is going to go to Reid first, says, what is your biggest vulnerability as a leader?
I'm going to think about that for a second. Okay. Well, I think that sometimes it's scary to try new things, and it's hard when you've been in ASB like I have for the past 2 years and seen really successful events, and it's hard to want to go off of that. Like this year we tried something new with cities, and I have to admit it was a little bit scary saying yes to that idea. So I think that just not being afraid to try new things and listening to new ideas and being willing and open to listening to them is the most important thing, and that's what I'm going to try and do if elected.
Okay, so I think for myself, an area of leadership where I'd like to improve on or try to get better at is making sure that I'm critical, but also very understanding at the same time. I feel like sometimes I'll be very, very, very polite and then not say what I'm actually feeling, and then other times I'll say too much and then perhaps hurt other people's feelings. So I think it's about finding a balance between giving your advice, giving your honest opinion, and then also making sure that you work well and work together in the team. So that's where I'd like to improve.
Next question, going to Will first. What do you plan on doing differently for dances, prom, and or other social events?
Okay, I'm going to think really quickly. Let's see. I think one area of ASB events that I'd really like to change is that to have a broader range of events. I know that this year we've had a lot of success with the movie night and the things we're planning later, the international lunch, but definitely I want to hear more from the student body, and I think that's where my broad perspective that I've gained from the club tour, as well as utilizing surveys, will come in, just to make sure that we do incorporate as many people as we can in order to really make sure that everyone has an event that they can go to, and at these events making friends and help Paly become more unified and become more of a community. So.
Okay, going off of what Will said, I want to have more events in general. Like with what Livy did this first semester, she had a volleyball tournament on the quad, so I want to have more sports on the quad, more music on the quad. And one of the projects that I really enjoyed this semester was art in unusual places. So they art just popped up on campus, and I really liked seeing the work that students have done show up around, because I think that it's really important to see all of the hard work that the kids do here and then have other students recognize it. So I want to do more things like that And I think that if you have music on the quad, people can see their other students' performances, and we can really highlight all of the awesome people that we have on campus.
Next question, going to Reid first. What worked in ASB this year, and what do you want to change?
Okay, so I think in ASB this year, we were really good about planning a lot of new events and not being afraid to try new things. With Sadie's, volleyball on the quad, a ton of different events that I want to continue, and with movie night. And there are a lot of things, like movie night we can improve when we get the Mac technical difficulties working. But that was out of our control. But also, I think that, so we started the committee program this year, where we had like a spirit committee, a bonding committee, we had a culture and climate committee. And I think that things like that are really important, that are outside of our defined roles in ASB. So they planned different events. And we had a fundraising committee, which I think is something that we really need to improve on as a class. We haven't really done fundraising as long as I've been here, for a long time. And we really need to start doing that because we don't have unlimited money. And we should definitely focus on doing that in the future.
Okay, so one area that I think of ASB that we've really improved on this year is our publicity. So I know that we've been making a lot more effort to make sure that people know what's happening around campus. So with our Facebook invites, we've done a lot. We've created a publicity system to put up flyers. I've made videos. We've done press releases. So I'd really like to put extra effort into publicity to make sure that we reach the audience that the school and that people are just aware of what's going on around our campus. I think that's an easy way we can increase the quality of the climate at school. And then another area that I'd like to improve on in ASB is, let's see, I think collaborating with clubs at Paly and other organizations that are outside of ASB but still have sort of a reach and an impact in the community. So.
Next question, going to Will first. What have you done that makes you qualified for this role?
Okay, so I think I covered most of the general idea of what I've done this year with the club tour, started and led Advice for ASB, but I think what makes me the most qualified for this role boils down to the fact that I'm willing to put in a lot of effort and a lot of work to ensure that what I do is good. When I say things like I want more unity or I want more inclusion, it's not just like an empty promise to get more votes. I think you can see from what I've done this year that I do act on what I say, and I hope to continue working on what I've said, broad perspective, communication, listening, and putting effort into publicity, and continue improving on those aspects and making sure that they do get done in a tangible manner.
Okay, for me, I think what makes me qualified is that I'm a good communicator. I don't feel uncomfortable going up and talking to groups of people about ASB events. My friends can tell you. I also feel really comfortable going up to the administration and the teachers on campus, and I know a lot of them through a lot of different events. I went to a program at the design school with Ms. Diorio, got to know her a lot better, and I've been in ASB the past 2 years, and I don't think that that's like a reason for a re-election, but I do think that I have a lot of experience being in student government and leading our school, and I was in it in middle school as well, and it's something that I really enjoy and I'm really passionate about, and that's the one thing I want you guys to take away from this, is that I really love Paly, and I really love to hear what all of you guys have to say, and I'm definitely open to change, which is one of my greatest qualities, I think.
So this is going to Reid first, and the question says, what is the most important quality in a leader and why?
Okay, I think that kind of goes off of what I just said. I think that communication is really key. Like what Will has been saying, if we take in surveys and take in what you guys are saying, then we can plan our events more around what you guys want, because we are here to serve you, not what events we want. So if we understand what you guys want, then we can make the best events. And the ASB president is mainly the link between teachers, admin, and students. So if we can communicate with all three groups, I think we can make a lot of effective change here at Paly.
Okay, yeah, so I definitely agree with Reid that communication is key for leaders to have. Another quality that I think is very important for leaders to have is, again, touching on what I said earlier, is that drive and that passion and that dedication. Because as long as you have that, as long as you're willing to work hard, a lot of the areas where you're not necessarily the most qualified or have the most experience in, you can work to fill in those gaps. So I think, for example, like with advice for ASBs, these are things that I wanted to pursue that I didn't necessarily have to do, but thought they were important, and as a result was able to become more representative and a better leader.
William first. So, what is one event ASB can improve on, and what are your ideas for improving it?
Okay, so I think one event that we can improve on is Spirit Week. I know that we've done a lot better this year with making it more inclusive. We've added things like the mannequin painting and tried to incorporate events that more people would sort of, be comfortable doing. And I think that with Spirit Week, since it's such a big week and there's so much opportunity to get people involved, I'd really like to continue adding more diverse events and incorporating different people. I know this year I tried doing this thing with the profile pictures for our class. Usually we traditionally have one person design the profile picture, but this year I tried to get more people to do it. So we had like a little contest where people could submit their profile pictures, and then we choose one of them. So it's things like that where we can incorporate as many people as possible and still get the job done. So yeah.
For me, the one event that I would really like to improve on is NIOS, which is Not in Our Schools Week. At Gun, I don't know if any of you guys have heard about it, but they have like a really big Not in Our Schools Week. They do tons of events. There are like, I'm pretty sure there might even be rallies. So they do a lot of stuff, and I think that Paly can learn a lot from working with Gun in other events as well. But Not in Our Schools Week especially, we have a lot of like opportunity to change, and we've done events in the past that haven't really worked out, but we've learned from that, and I think that this year we can expand it even more, because it can be a really powerful week, and there's a lot of interesting videos you can show. There are a lot of lunchtime activities that other schools do that we can learn from, and people can really, I think it can benefit our campus a lot.
Next question. What methods will you use to increase campus unity at Paly? Reid.
So to increase campus unity, I want to do what I said earlier, which is more events, because I think that that's something that really brings us together as a school, because we have a lot of really passionate, really spirited people here that enjoy doing different types of things. So even if Spirit Week isn't your forte or something that you really enjoy doing, having something like NIOS or a volleyball tournament on the quad is something that you can relate to other people through. Yeah, so that's what I would do, is just make more events in general.
Yeah, so adding on to what sort of I said before and what Reid has been saying, I think that with unity, we're not going to be able to achieve perfect unity where everyone is friends with everyone and we all eat lunch together. I think we can instead of aiming for something that's super high up, we can aim for more things. Just being more familiar with your classmates, having more of a sense of community and that sense of unity, and a way to achieve that would be through more events, more diverse events, and making sure people go to these events so that they can meet new people and sort of form those bonds.
Next question. Who are your inspirations when it comes to leadership? William.
Okay, so for myself, I think one person that I look up to for leadership is, so I'm part of this teen group, it's called Teen Advisory Board, and our leader his name is Reid, and he's the student body president of GUN, and I was part of that group since, I think, 7th grade, and just going to meetings every week and seeing how he was leading the group, what he was doing, how he was communicating with us, and he was funny, but also very on task, and very entertaining. So I think I look up to him because I think he's he's like, I see him as a friend, but also as someone who's a leader, and I'd like to sort of follow in his footsteps and make sure that as a leader, I'm also very approachable, but also approachable and entertaining, but also get work done and make sure things happen.
Okay, I would say that my role model would be Audrey.W, who was in ASB last year. She's just like a very passionate person. I don't know if any of you guys know her, but every time she had an opinion, she stuck to it. And I remember like sitting in ASB and she would try and convince us all, and a lot of times it worked because she just wouldn't ever leave her opinion, and she didn't feel uncomfortable ever expressing it. And I think that that's a really important quality, is if you feel strongly about something, you need to be able to argue it and convey it to people. So I think that that's a skill that I'd like to improve on, and as ASB president, I would do my best to do that.
So this is the last question, and it says, in the past, many candidates make promises they are not able to keep. How will you ensure that you will follow through on your ideas?
Okay, well this year I followed through with what I promised, and when I was running for ASB Vice President, I talked about like trying to improve clubs and organization of clubs, which we've made progress through with the club check-in system. We can do even better next year, but so I think I've exemplified that, and I'll continue to do that, and I won't let you guys down if you vote for me.
Yeah. So I think I actually mentioned this earlier, but you know, from advice for ASB to the club tour to things like making graphics and videos, I think you can see that I am very passionate about ASB, and I do put in a lot of effort and I do put in a lot of work to make sure that what I set out to do is not only what I set out to do is accomplished, but also things that aren't necessarily required of me and things that I may not have promised are also achieved. I look for opportunity and I look for ways that I can improve the campus, and I always go for it. So.
So we have like a couple more minutes left, so if you guys would like to each do like a 1-minute closing statement.
Okay, I just want to thank you all for coming. It really means a lot that you came out here, and we're trying to grow this event for future years. So thank you. And I want you guys to walk away with knowing that I really love this school, and I will really work hard and do anything to make your ideas heard to the greater campus and to make school a more fun place for everyone.
Okay, so I think what I want you to get from this speech and get from this event is that I've already developed some skills. I have the experience, and I have the passion, and I have the dedication to really go out there, to listen to you, and to do my best in order to make sure that your campus life is as positive as it can be. Thank you.
Okay, thank you all for coming out today and yesterday if you came out yesterday. Voting starts tomorrow, so vote.